timelines are shifting at the moment. So because a lot of you are going through this transitional shift right now, thinking. So what may have suited you once before may not be fitting you. And by working with the imagination, being childlike to work with it, you're sort of expanding, you're extending yourself. You think it's not possible. Now you're entering into a world of where it is possible. Forecast. So we're going to look at this. This is what they just said to me. This, well, not just, but I've been doing some channeling and just automatic writing. They said, so as we're moving forward into this year, they said this shiny new year, like a shiny new penny or a cent, depending on where you are in the world, euro, whatever it is. They just turned around and said that this energy that you're going through right now, this is going to be about tying up loose ends at the moment. This is about laying down foundation. This is just general because we're going to go into it in a moment. Your energy well-being. Those of you who are becoming more and more in tune with energy, you're becoming the energy ambassadors for the world, humanity. They said that's really important. Thank you. There's going to be a lot of deja vu moments occurring on the planet at this particular time. And they said about tuning into internal navigation system. Okay, thank you. So roughly bits and bobs like this is what they want to look at. This is what they're talking about, and sometimes some of these are repeating, but this seems to be their topic what they want to look at today. So March energy, as I said, 2025, tying up loose ends. So they said you've still got this energy of the January and February of energy of maybe feeling still, maybe feeling for some a little bit that there's so much going on, don't know where to begin, feels heavy. It's like going to a cupboard and knowing that you've got to clear it out, and you're standing in front of the cupboard and it feels overwhelming still. This is about energy of the right at the moment at this time. So it feels like going to the cupboard, knowing that you've got to clear things into boxes, maybe taking out some old clothes, maybe like they don't fit me anymore, or that's not me anymore when I look at the wardrobe. Because a lot of you are going through this transitional shift right now, thinking. So what may have suited you once before may not be fitting you, and not just meaning clothes, but maybe not suiting you at the moment because your energy has shifted. So for those who've been doing the energy work, as in looking at your own frequency, who's been, you know, from doing your mindfulness, from doing your affirmation cards, I think they just said, we all hear you here, this side. So like counselor joining me, they're all coming in. Thank you very much. And so they said that a lot of you are at that stage that because there's so many shifts, because there's so much going on, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And January, February might feel a little bit overwhelming, still carrying forward from 2024, bringing it forward into 2025 and waiting for things to change. So in this March energy, it's like, still needing some things to change, but it's slowly, they said, slowly. Says we're not talking about big projects at this moment. They're just talking about tying up loose ends. So there's some things that you wanted to get sorted, ticked off the box. That's going to be this time now, as in ticking off the box. So create that list. I said, thinking some of you hold the information in your head, and what happens is you become all that information. So if you think that you've got to do this project and you've got to tidy up this room, or you've got to change your job, or you've got to move out this relationship, this may not be the time to do all of it, but it may be that you create that little list and you can just go through ticking off things that you are completing at the moment. So this will help energetically, they said, because what happens is, remember, it's like Mr. Men, Mr. Messy. Some of your energy is very static at the moment, and we can feel your energy of there's a lot of mind stuff going on, of things that you think you might do, projects and things you need to do in the future. But instead of writing it down, to empty some of those heavy boxes in your head of what you want to do, it becomes a bit cluttered, and then it becomes overwhelming and too full. So just take out, have a look at the box. Imagine there's a box in the head. What is it? Could it be literally, I don't know, whether you're having some work done on a house or project or home, or needing to move, maybe that's that list. Check down, put a little list, tick it off, just do a few little things. Maybe there's another box in the head sitting there with all the information in. It's looking at a relationship, you need to make some changes there. Just write a little tiny list. And maybe there's another box here, so you can see, they said they're giving me a picture of all these cardboard boxes open and sort of things feeling overfilled and overwhelming. So they said it's just a little, literally this March, it's like taking a peek at the box and going, what is I can just take it that's very light, very easy, that I can just go, okay, yeah, I can do that. Just tiny little things, that's all they want you to do. So just tie up some loose ends, not major things. Thank you. They said it's not like saying, oh, right, I'm going to travel the world and, you know, I'm going to pack my bags tomorrow and go. It's not that necessarily. It's just like creating the list of things that you're going to do as you move forward. So this is the energy of what's happening right now. Okay, thinking, because they said that it helps us also to look at what it is that we can assist you with, the energy of who you are. Because if you're constantly thinking about all the big boxes of things that you've got, these cardboard boxes, all the stuff that you've got, like it's almost it's like going to a car boot or a we would call it a car boot sale in England, but you guys, it might be a garage sale or whatever it is called in different parts of the world. So they're talking about just going through each box very gently. What can I do today? What do I feel I have the energy for today? So you're not beating yourself and going, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. So thank you. This is what they're saying. And by you doing that, these tiny little loose ends, it just then helps you to move forward, to then you create space for bigger projects that are about to come. But that's going to be later on in the year. This is like when we go to think maybe May, June, July, August. Okay, big changes there. So it's talking about the individual little things that you can just tie up. It's like thinking, I don't know what they're still going on about. It's almost like if you've got a ball of wool and you could just like tie it around and just put that ball of wool and you just put it to one side, not having to pull everything out. That's what they're just saying. Thank you very much. So it's foundation, laying it all down, getting it ready. Thank you. And they said, do you realize, some of you who've been doing this work on yourselves, thank you, they said many more coming on now. There's like, they're showing me as if there's like little light bulbs around the world, and then they're giving me the global map. There's more of you that are lighting up the world in the sense of becoming aware of your own energy. Thank you. And your energy well-being. You're becoming more aware of that. So it's like, you know, if you're feeling a bit crabby, it's like you'll become more aware of not intoxicating somebody else with this overspilling of this let's say negative energy. I don't like using that word, unconstructive, deconstructive energy. So it's about a lot of you becoming more aware of your energy well-being, like how you are, how you're functioning, how you're showing up in the world right now. And thank you, they said, and that's because many of you are, you know, whether you work with your chakra system or your energy of how you're feeling, and more of you are doing that right now. You're looking at or taking self-care. They said there's more of you becoming aware of that. And so your light bulb, your energy, if you see your soul as a light bulb, is light, it's becoming more brighter in the world. And this is what they're showing me, loads of the world being lit with loads of light bulbs and this beautiful glow that you are bringing up. Thank you. And then they said, of course, you know, with your energy of who you are internally, of how you're feeling about yourself, thank you, you are becoming the ambassadors. So it's like people are, you looking good, people come up to you, oh wow, you've been on holiday, or wow, what's going on, or you might say something and somebody might turn around and go, oh my god, you know, I've been thinking about doing that. So there'll be words that you will also be thinking, channeling, putting out to others, that people are going to become aware of, you know, you're showing up in the world being different, and so that they're becoming more attracted to that, and they're going to want to ask you questions, or you know, they're going to be aware that you're changing. So it's like you're having that influence to others. And yeah, thank you, the terminology like light workers, that's going to be one of those things that you know, we're going to hear more and more and more of that. Thank you. Again, non-religious, but it's like the energy. So it's like how you're showing up in the world and how you're going to be a glow, they just turned around and said. So energy well-being, and it's going to be really important, something to focus on really in this March. Some of you been heavy in that January, February 2025, as well as bringing it forward from 2024. And as we are moving into this March energy, we'd sort of say springing into action parts of the world, some obviously depending on where you are on the world, on the globe at the time, but it's going to be how you're moving forward now, and how you're showing up, and how you're going to take care of yourself. That's going to be really, really important. Okay, thank you. And also, thank you, what's going to be important is that, thank you, more of your being aware of your environment. It's going to be about, thank you, they said, thank you, okay, thank you, more about your environment around you, your awareness, what makes you feel happy or sad or nourished. It's going to be very important March is going to be that energy. March, as we move into sort of early stages of April, it's going to be really important that you are aware of, you know, what is feeding you, what is helping you, what is nourishing. So this is what we're going into this right now. It's about taking care of yourself. So you need time out, you need to rest, you rest. Some people will see this being selfish, but this is not being selfish. It's about you self-caring, you're self-managing your energy right now. So it's going to be very important. Okay, thank you. Something they've been talking about as well, and this is why you'll be the ambassadors to others, but also something they're sort of saying is being observant of your energy around you. Okay, thank you. There's got two guides coming in, and one's talking about this and another's talking about, okay, fine, thank you. One of them's talking about thank you, how, for instance, your environment. So it's not just internally living in a property, it's not just the people that live around you, it's also going to be at nature, it's going to be about location. That's going to be really important. Now, I was just tuning in before this, and they're saying to me about how the earth's energy is shifting, it's changing. So the earth's core seems to be slightly shifting and changing at the moment. And I think I have a guide sort of saying, well, if you think of individuals, when you're connecting, a lot of you are grounding your energy. So if you're in meditation, a lot of you open your chakra systems, that you might then, you know, place your roots in down to the soil and feed all the energy back into the core. It's almost like thank you, the earth is reading hearing a sound back. It's all hearing the information from yourselves and picking up on how you're feeling. So it's like you're really tuning in. So it's like if we imagine a plug going into a wall socket, that's what you're doing. And so the earth is feeding into the energy. Thank you. This is not a minus or a plus or negative or a positive, but in a way the earth is connecting more with you. Thank you. Back as it would have done back in the early days before electricity, they say. So it's like we're sort of going back to basics in the sense of how the earth is feeding us, how we're going to be working with the earth more. Thank you. It feels as if like the transmission of how you're feeling about yourself is being transferred into earth and to nature. Thank you. They said if you think of if you're feeling sick, it may be that literally the food that you're eating, your environment that you're feeding into, could also be creating these sicknesses too, they said. They said, and there's going to be more awareness of this as we move forward, about how we are affecting the earth, the energy of the core, how we're affecting our environment and how it's affecting us. There's going to be a lot of that as we move forward through this year 2025, but there's going to be more of that coming up now. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And I have a guide keeps shouting out symbiotic, keep saying symbiotic. Earth, humans, animals, many organs we're interacting with, and we're affecting each other. So there's going to be more of that being highlighted 2025. There'll be like more evidence. Thank you. And then someone just shouted out heavy metals. I'm sure that's not a band they're talking about at all, but they are talking about the what we're absorbing. Many of us are going to be are more open, so we're going to be sensitive. So the more that you become sensitive to your own natural psychic gifts and intuition, you're going to be becoming more aware of energy around you. So if you're living in a building that there's a lot of noise around you, you might be becoming more sensitive. Your ears may be picking up more, your skin may be reacting more. You know, there's a lot going on here because there's going to be people that are going to be becoming wider open to everything that's going around you. Okay, thank you. Okay, and then this, thank you. They said how can you compensate for this? And okay, thank you. They was watching me today when I had my coffee, decaf and dairy free, sitting by the river. I was sitting by the river in a cafe. I found a new cafe today, and I was sitting in the sunshine and just absorbing all the vitamin D. And I was listening to the seagulls flying over me, and I, you know, I was supposed to be health conscious and not eating croissants or pastries, but I had to sit there. I had to have one. Of course you do. And they said, and I was sitting there being very grateful. So they're sort of saying that, you know, by, you know, compensating for other things that may be going on in your environment or around you, compensate by the gratitude that you have for those little things in life, taking a moment to add to your gratitude list, because that's shifting your energy. So it's like your thank you, it's like your energy will shift. Right, thank you. They're just showing me this. They're showing me like F1 Formula One driving, and when the drivers are racing around the track, this is very much like the humans, how they are driving around they're on a loop, constant loop, and not really tuning into what's going on around them. What happens is, and I'm just taking them for their word, there is like where they wear a visor on their helmet, and when it gets dirty after so many laps, they peel it off, and they have a newer or clearer or cleaner vision. And they're saying, thank you, and they're bringing this up, and so they're sort of saying that use this as a metaphor in a sense of, like, you know, the gratitude, observing life differently. It's like you're peeling back the old layers and you're getting a clearer vision, and your perceptive will start to change more and more. So the gratitude list, if some of you might call it that, or just being grateful for 5-10 minutes of your day, whatever it is, or whatever you're tuning into, whatever you're listening, whatever you're feeling, you're sensing this will counteract any toxins or negativity. It's affecting your physical form, so you can rule this out by changing your frequency. Okay, this is what they're implying. So then you take 5 minutes out, you absorb it, you're aware of it, and so in a way that your feedback to nature or your feedback to your environment sort of starts to shift. They sort of said, thank you. Okay, thank you. Also, thank you. They said many of you, we've been sitting with many of you in meditation, and many of you are calling upon us now. So whether you're calling upon your angels or your loved ones or your guides or whatever communication you're having, okay, thank you, that a lot of you are opening up to, and thank you. They said some of you are even connecting to your higher self now, which is good, your soul consciousness. This is having a big shift in your energy. It's changing so much at this moment in time. So really important now, when you think you take 5 minutes out and you sit with yourself, your physical self, but also to take 5 minutes out to connect to your higher self or your soul consciousness. And I can think this is not your subconscious mind that critiques what you're doing. They're using me as an example, which they wouldn't, as in, oh, Anne's sitting there having a croissant with a coffee and she was like, she shouldn't be doing it. But the other side of me, the heart center, when I was sitting enjoying the moment, that was sort of communicating with my higher self, that's sort of communicating my soul consciousness and saying, I'm really enjoying this. I'm taking 5 minutes out. And so this is what's going to be happening as you move forward with this spiritual well-being, your energy well-being. It's like checking in with yourself. You know, they thinking, whether it's in meditation or you're enjoying a coffee yourself, it's like to enjoy that moment and to sit with yourself and to invite yourself in, your soul consciousness, into that energy space, and to sit with yourself so that you then can enjoy the energy, shift your energy. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. They just said, and don't forget to mention, as we're moving into March, some of you might be feeling this more and more now, but there's going to be those real deja vu moments, if only I could speak. This is about timelines are shifting at the moment. So predicted timelines, or where you thought you might be at, or what you thought might be happening as you move forward in life. Thank you. They said sometimes a lot of you are thinking like what you want to do, how it's going to happen, when you're going to do it. Those timelines need to be shifting at the moment, because the energies around globally are shifting too. So it's, you know, where, say for instance, we might think, oh, you know, I'm booking a summer holiday and I'm, you know, it's a bit like that, but it's not. But it's a bit like, I'm going to leave my job here, I'm going to make these changes there. It's make them fluid at the moment. They're not all ready to happen or unfold. There's going to be a few shifts, so time might feel as if it's speeding up, and there might be other moments where you might feel that it's slowed right down and you're looking in at yourself or looking at yourself from a distance. Those timelines are starting to shift. So thank you. For instance, I had a situation today, and had a conversation with somebody and I was like, oh my God, I think I had a dream about this some time ago, but it wasn't a dream, because how did I remember it from all those years ago? It was as if I had a deja vu moment, something I'd remembered that obviously I'd forgotten a long time ago, and today it actually happened, and I caught myself saying the conversation to somebody, which made me go, oh my God, I've said this conversation before, but I don't remember saying it in this lifetime, and I'm in a different property when I thought this situation, and this person, I didn't know that I was going to be with this person at this time of my life. So it was really weird. So it was a deja vu sort of moment, a very bizarre experience today. So there's going to be a lot of that as well. You might find that you're saying something to somebody that you weren't expecting yourself to say, or situations unfolded and you might catch yourself and go, oh my God, this feels familiar. Maybe it was in a dream I said this, but of course it's not dream. It's actually, if we look, it's working within the astral fields, it's energy time shifting. So a lot of you will be becoming aware of that. You'll notice over the next couple of months as you move forward, you might have a moment where you go, oh my God, I thought I said that before, but I know I physically haven't said that. I mean, this literally, I had a dream a couple of years ago, and I'm in a property that I've only just purchased a couple of months ago. So it's like, wow, this conversation. So timelines are shifting at the moment. So anything that you thought was going to happen at a certain time as you move forward, like throwing out, predicting, I'm going to do it when this happens, or I'm going to do it here, that's all gone out the window at the moment. It's got to be about being open to that flexibility, because things are going to come in super fast when you're ready, and it's going to be working with your frequency. So if you put timelines in now and sort of say, I'm going to do it at this time, or I want to get it done by that time, you're restricting yourself. It's almost like it's like a train track, and you're saying your train is going to go to that station, and then it's going to stop at that station, it's going to be on that time. You're actually getting in the way. You're creating blockages. So if you just say, right, okay, I'm just going to sit on the train and see where it takes me, metaphor, and then just go with it, you'll see that you'll pull up at whatever station you need to at any particular time. And thank you, they said not any particular time, but you'll be stopping at that station exactly where you're meant to be stopping at that exactly particular time that they want to guide you. So the universe will take you at that particular speed that you're ready to go at. So they're allowing yourself to go there. But if you put blockages in, if you go, right, okay, no, I want to do it by March, or I want to do it by, I don't know, August, or I want to do it whatever, you are then actually restricting yourself and creating a structure that you don't need to be in that structure. If you just allow yourself to go with it, things will actually happen a lot faster for you. I think, and they said, not unless you want it to slow down and you want to step back. There's going to be many of you who are going to feel like you're on the outside of yourself, almost like looking in at your life. So a lot of you will be feeling that too, that you're taking a position from outside of yourself, like an out-of-body experience, and then looking in. Many of those who are energetically working with your energy, connecting more through meditation or whatever you're doing, there's going to be many of you will be thinking you're walking in and out of your astral field. It's like sleepwalking. So many of you will be having those predictions already, looking ahead. So if you create those restrictions, say, no, I want to get there by that certain time, you're restricting yourself. You don't need to do it. Okay, so is there anything else? Thank you. So we've got that going on in this March energy. There seems to be such a lot. March energy, and as we move into April, so it really feels as if, you're moving forward, but just take it gently with yourself. Don't rush into anything. Just take your time. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the terminology of ascension is being chucked out in every location at the moment. It's like individuals, this is a great comment, question, whatever, but thank you, my guys are coming in. Thank you, they said there's always going to be fads, and there's always going to be these populated words, popular words at any given time. And we are aware, thank you, the word ascension has come in many times, and people ascending. Where do you think you're going to go? We often laugh because it's Like, do you think that there's going to be the balloons that you rise up, and where do you go? And they think that, thank you. Yes, ascension as in when you're passing through, and then when you move on with your soul journey, but not the ascension of the human, that while you're living here, your soul is grounded here. Your soul has to be grounded here for you to be living your 3D life, as we said before, from a sensory being, that you have to explore the senses that you're experiencing through the human physical form to experiencing your journey. So there's an expansion of the soul self, so that you are learning what you need to learn. As in, we've said this many times before, as in, if you have experiences in love experiences, or experiences that may cause damage to your physical form, you, through those experiences that you learn, it's for your soul in this particular lifetime that you are here to procreate, to have your experience, your expansion of your soul self, and to intermingle with each other. When we hear of ascension, we'd like to see it as in maybe your souls being enlightened in a sense of the ascension, as in leaving the heavy 3D-ness of the physical creation that you have logically within your mind, or how your mind may be processing information. We'd like to see that as we say, as ascension, in the sense of your mind has become enlightened, and this expansion of yourself, and the awareness that you are not just your mind, and that your soul experiences are, you are interacting with each other and experiencing on a soul level, so that each time that you come around here, that you are on this time loop, you are on this recycle, that you are not experiencing the same things in the sense of repeating the ascension of being aware and mindful of, like, you are making those great changes. This is how we wish to see it. But yes, the terminology of how it's been bandied about, and we are perfectly aware of on your planet at this particular time that this has become the new fad. There's always a new fad, but we'd rather this as a new fad than something else. But yes, there is to be mindful when we speak of ascension, that it is not that you are opening, say for instance, your energy, that you are wishing to be elsewhere. This is unhealthy for the individual souls that are having human experience. It is not that you wish you are somewhere else, or you are so open energetically that you're moving in and out the astral fields constantly, because energetically the frequency is so high, it would be totally impossible for that to be 24/7 as your days exist, and as your weeks, as you say, from your calendar months, as we know this is not correct as such. But it is that also that you have to be exploring, that you have to be present in your everyday life. It is for those who feel that they use substances, that they are constantly wanting to be out of their body. Why would you wish to be out of your body when you need to be in your physical form while you are having a physical experience? There is this detachment from the actual physical experience that they would be experiencing. What would be the point? Because then you would need to come backwards and forwards again. There are many also that we are aware that spiritually, their meditation, or the however you want to see them, these teachers that sit in meditation, again, they're not having the full experience of the human existence of being interacting with each other. Symbiotic, you have to have these experiences. So yes, there is to pay some, whether we want to use the word as in cautiousness, because this then stops people from exploring, but it is that they have then also the physical connection to their physical selves while you are here. The terminology many of you would use as in grounded in the sense that you are physically on your physical planet at any physical time, being aware of what is physically happening. But then of course, being too in your mind, there needs to be a balance, always needs to be a balance. And of course the teachers over time, the wording that individuals would use has shifted and changed. There needs to be this awareness that you can move throughout yourself, that you can expand your consciousness and expand your awareness. Of course, this is what is wished for each of the souls, to have this knowledge of expansion of self, that maybe someone would call this your outer body experience, in the sense that you are becoming more aware of how you exist as a soul, that as a soul can travel in and out of its physical form, not to leave it, of course, because then you do ascend, you leave, you become deceased. But it is that you can create this awareness of, you can extend outside of yourself and then also to come back inside of yourself. It is a natural ability that many of you can explore for yourselves, of leaving yourself and coming back in, but not leaving yourself entirely forever. it is that you can just feel this expansion of yourself. But there is awareness that you can extend, of course. But the word ascension, as many of you feeling that they can go off into the light. Why would you wish to leave and go off into the light before, prematurely to leave your physical experience? Some have this idealistic view that if you travel for extension, or you move into this light, then how are you experiencing, whether we do not wish to say darkness or light? In a sense, it's just another energy stream that some of you can get caught up in. And yes, you also speak of the ethereal world, the astral world, the energy of the other energy streams. Of course, we are aware of the other energy streams which you talk of, and being within the light. There are energies within the light frequency, of course. And there are guardians within that energy stream as course. There are guardians of the light energy streams. Not many of you would reach that energy level, as that is a different frequency. And of course, the energy streams of these light individuals, beings, if you wish to call them, more of essence of light, have not had the existence of being in the human physical vessel. No, of course. And it may feel like a magnetic pull towards the light. There are many realms that many of you will be unaware of. There are many layers. But it's the individuals that allow themselves to be pulled into that light energy. You see, the human mind does not normally connect to the energy field. It would have to be a very high frequency. The individual who would connect to that realm of light energy would have to be vibrating at the similar or same frequency, shall we say. That light frequency is when you leave your physical form. So if we think of maybe aware or what it is that you're speaking of to reach that light energy, it would be that you are leaving your physical form, the density of the organic matter of your physical form, or of how the human identifies as. That then you would reach that realm of possibilities. But the regular individual through meditation would never really reach that realm of light. And it is the frequency of when you leave your physical form. There is not much to be fearful from, as within that realm of light, of frequency, you have already left the density of your physical form. And yes, there are energy streams that work within that realm of energy, but that is the magnification of drawing your energy and your light away from the organic matter that you may have lived in for some time. Also, maybe we speak of like your shell suit, if someone was to think what it is, what we mean necessarily. It would be similar to maybe the astronaut, if you wish to look at an imagery of leaving its spacesuit, leaving its space rocket, and allowing itself to drift. There are many layers of many different realms, but the physical 3D reality of many of you will not reach that until you have left your organic matter. It is a safe space. There is always a fascination when somebody leaves their organic matter and the essence of themselves reaches the realms. But there is no harm and there is no need for danger or scariness. It is just the next realm. And you become one with that realm of others that exist in that realm. There is always a worry from others who do not understand how it works or how it exists, that there may be that use of wording, maybe to place fear in others, or lack of understanding of how the operation of this works. There is more, if we would say, to be more fearful on your planet. Our personal selves would think, as in all the possibilities of many different types of energies on your planet, as it is a denser energy. There is more frequencies in the sense of the denser energy of those who have committed crimes against each other, the murderers, and those who wish not to leave that lower density, that realm that you have on your planet. But here with ourselves, the energy is different. As we say, there is nothing to fear within that realm. Okay, I don't know what I've said because I've just channeled the information. I'll have a look later. You have addressed us and asking the question of what we see. It is what we also feel energetically from the individuals, and speaks and spoke of the fact of her having her cheeky little coffee on her walk today and feeling quite childlike. We could feel that childlike energy of how she was feeling and this contentment that she felt within her heart. We felt this energy of how she felt. There was part of her that placed herself into those past memories. We could feel the energy of her younger self, how she was matching up. She gives the example of the Russian dolls, of there was part of herself that was sitting who would have thought I would be here in so many years ahead of herself, that younger child paying for her drink, feeling contented with life, as it has been a struggle like many of yours on the planet, we are aware. But if we try to give a physical sense of what we may have seen, it would be, yes. If you imagine, maybe we shall have a look to see if this is how we can explain. If you imagine a car that may be overheated in the sense of the bonnet and how the engine, and you may see this daze or the energy or the friction of the energy of the car or the motor, the energy of the motor of the car, there is a haze, the feeling, or if you look into the distance in a desert like a mirage, seeing that wavery imagery in the distance, that's the physical sense of what we are seeing in the sense of the essence of individuals. We see all of you, your physical form of your outline of your physical self, in the sense, yes, we can see your clothes, we can see you walking, we can see you sleeping, we can see you walking, but it is the energy essence, as in a wavy imagery, that we are more interested in and what we see. We would say this is like your energy fields around you. Yes, we see the colors, so you can imagine from Anne's heart center today, we are aware of how her energy radiates out, and yes, a bit like the heat from your radiator. We can say that if you can see it with squinted eyes, many of you can see this. It is that we were aware of from her heart, her contentment of energy, so we picked up on the color of which she was radiating out. We're aware there are certain cameras that have been invented or filming of auric energy fields. This is very similar to how we see. We are aware of also your thought processes, and we are aware of the energy of your minds, your heads, where your heads are thinking, or the energy that is transmitted through your thought processes. We are aware of that energy. We are aware of the good intentions that each other may have for each other. We also are aware of your predictive information, as in your memories or thoughts of what it is that you think you should be doing or what you wish to create. It's all in your energy fields. We see this. We are also aware of how the energy matches up with surroundings. If you look at, we say, the brick walls, for instance, where she sat, you had the energy of the infusion of the river that flows. We could see the energy was moving at a fast pace. We could see the colors, and we also are aware of the animals are within the energy fields, flowing within the energy. Brick walls and buildings are very different from the energy. We see different colors, but it is not necessarily important to us. For instance, looking at your 3D of your colored of your clothes, or seeing buses or cars, it is more of the energy fields that are matched up, that we are aware of yourselves. We are aware of some of you also having that feeling of watching yourself from a distance. We are also aware of this too. You see, we like this question. Are we always tuned into you? Do we have the ability? Are we always around you? You see, many of you, when you become more enlightened or connected or aware of your energy, of how you expand, you are aware of your energy. We are more aware of your energy. We find it easier to communicate with you when you are open to receive information. There are your loved ones that you connect to, you become open to. So those who have had loved ones that have passed over, father, mother, siblings, friends, lovers, animals, because you have felt that heartache connection, those individual souls, spirits come forward to assist you to work with your energy. They appoint themselves to you. They become more aware of you. And so if you wished for assistance, they could be with you. Now, if you were asking a question, if I was in the bath, for instance, would I be alarmed if we were to step forward to watch you, there is no shame here. We do not experience that. It's the humans who are having the sensory experience, the 3D world. It is many of you may have that feeling of maybe to be worried or embarrassed or things that you do. We are uninterested in those practical things that individuals do. But we are also aware there are moments when individuals would be, we should use this as an example. Maybe Anne does not wish for all her secrets to be opened or revealed in a sense, but we are aware a number of years ago when she was about to have a procedure where her camera would go and she was nervous. Her auntie had died of bowel cancer, and so as Anne was preparing for this procedure, medically, the uncomfortability and her fearfulness of what may be found, her auntie stepped forward to assist her and held her hand. Now, Anne was preparing herself, her body was preparing herself, and this was even when she sits on the toilet. So there is no embarrassment from her loved ones who step forward, but as a human, the human may be embarrassed, but Anne sat there and felt comforted as her auntie stepped forward and said that she would hold her hand through the procedure. So your question of are we always around? We are there when needed or asked or seek out some comfort. We are here with you. We are all always aware of the data of the individual and where and when you are going to be in certain places, but we do not need to see everything physical in your world. It is that when you may need us the most, we are there to assist you the most. Looking at the different layers of energy, even looking at the chakra system and the auric energy around us, and the astral and the etheric, and the mental, the emotional, physical part of ourselves. How can we check in to sort of see where there's a blockage or whatever needs to be cleared through this as like a filter? I love that. Brilliant. Okay, let's have a little look and see what they sort of suggest. Okay. Why not ask your physical form or your energetic self? It would be, many of you, we'd say meditation, and already we could hear many people saying, oh no, I can't meditate. We say this just because it doesn't necessarily mean it's a form of meditation, but to sit with yourselves. The connection that you make with your soul consciousness, other wording, we would call this higher self, or just with yourself. Sit with yourself, whether you are on a bench or in a chair, on the sofa, or just be with yourself, whether it's on a beach or wherever it is, to sit with yourself and to check in. Ask, move through your physical body, check in with your head. How is my head today? Is there something physical? Is there something emotional? Is there something mental? Is there something that is energetically happening? And move through the physical body. Many of you do not have a conversation with your physical form. Many of you are doubting your physical form or blaming your physical form when there is an issue that occurs. It is because the individual in the first place, not this individual we're speaking to right now asking this question, but it's because sometimes that you take your body, your energy self for granted. So then there are issues that come up, and there is this, oh, what's happened? Why is it my back is out? Oh, why is it my kidneys? Why is it this? Why is it that? It is to have the conversation with yourself. is to sit with yourself, to have that conversation. We would say daily. Many of you are going to resist this. We are aware of this. But to get into the habit of listening in, tuning in. Many of you can do this through yoga or a practice or walking or running or whatever it is, to have this mindfulness about your physical form and your energy form. Now, with your energy system, we have spoken of this before, of what is showing up in your world around you. What is coming up for you energetically? Where are the blockages happening? If it is a job that's not happening, or is there something stuck within a relationship, or if it's not the house that you're having, you may be stuck because energetically someone may be saying, I want that new job. But on the outside world of yourself, you're saying you may want that job, but the new job is not happening because the mind is saying the job needs to look a certain way. And energetically, you may not feel the same way as how you think you're going to be for this job. It may be like imposter syndrome kicks in, and so that you do not get that job. Or it may be other things that somebody wants, a new lover, a new partner. You have to match up with the frequency of the energy. Now, also, we will also address this in the astral fields, in the sense of your dream work. There may be dreams that are coming up for individuals that may be showing that you may be feeling as if going around in a maze, or a repeating dream comes up and never completing or never finishing something. You see, your mind is also affecting your astral fields around you, that energy field of where you're moving into. So be mindful of the dreams that also are coming up for you, to do the work on the dreams, to write them down, to see what is coming up, where there is some blockages you need to check. Also, many of you are aware that we also say about whether pendulums or affirmation cards or whatever it is that you check. But it is also to check with your organs as well. Many of you do not check in. It is, you may sit with your heart and ask your heart, do you need some assistance, and wait to hear back. Physically, how is it feeling? What is it that it needs you to be doing? Is it emotional? Where is the heartache? It is a real thing that happens. Where is the heartache? Where does it lie? Within inside my heart center. Listen back to your heart, the organ. It may be that you tune into your gut, your stomach, your bowels, your body's communicating. Listen back, listen to the feedback back from your physical body, and chase where it's going to see, is it to do with the physical? What is your eating, your drinking, your sleeping? Is this to do with an emotional side? But you have a more of an understanding energetically of how you are showing up and how we are seeing each of you. It may be that you connect through journaling with your higher self, your soul consciousness. Wake your soul consciousness up. Have the conversation in your journals. Talk to your higher self. Make that communication. Make the connection with yourself and listen back to the information you receive. We do hope we have answered this question as much as we can. With your imagination, it's always good to have a balance. This is one of the things that's really important. It's so important to have a balance. Imagination is good in the sense of, thank you, they said it's the same as if we restrict ourselves, in the sense of if we are only thinking as in the structure of how we are living life. So if we just focus on our 3D world and what's happening in our everyday life, sometimes we restrict it, we don't step out of it. By working with the imagination, being childlike to work with it, you're sort of expanding, you're extending yourself, but also you're already sort of laying down. So it's like, thank you, they said it's a bit like you have a shadow behind you, but with your imagination you can also create that shadow in front of you. So if you work with the energy, so it propels you forward. Thank you, they said some terminology, some people say like manifestation, but it's a bit like preparing that. It's almost like putting down the paving steps, putting down the stepping stones in front of you, working with your imagination, is allowing it to unfold. So there is a place for it, and working with your imagination helps with the third eye, and it helps your creativity and your intuition and that psychic side. It's important to have the imagination because you're creating all these imageries, but it is to have a balance in the everyday 3D world that you're living in. It's not to lose yourself in imagination, pretending that, say for instance, somebody might say, well, I've got loads of money and spend so much, and then you end up getting a physical debt in your world. You know, imagining that you've got all the money in the world, if you're not seeing the physical side of this, that's not proper reality. And then, you know, somebody can get into debt. So the idea is to have a balance of what is real, so not detaching from your world around you, and that can happen with this detachment of not wanting to live in the world because it might feel unhappy for somebody. But it's also to have that creativity and imagination. If it helps you any particular time, if someone's going through a difficult time, we can have that beautiful imagination to get us through, to smooth it out, to imagine what it would be like. So that it helps. It has its pros and cons. You have to be in the 3D world as well. So thank you. They said it's a bit like somebody that say they show me an example of someone taking drugs, I don't know, of jumping off a building. Imagine they can fly. Well, that's your imagination. You're not going to fly, you're going to hit the ground hard. So in the 3D world, you have to have that balance. You know, it's got to be that. But then if you think of the creativity through imagination, you know, through art, directors, authors, we need also that, so we can expand out, so that we are creating another world in front of us that we can move into, sort of thing. So there's a fine balance working with imagination. If we think of some of the creativity with the imagination and some of the films that have been created like 20-30 years ago, we've seen a lot of those films and we're like, wow, this is what real world is looking like now. You know, as a kid growing up, one day you're going to have a computer in your pocket. As a child, like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And today we do. We have our phones, which is like a mini computer. It's somebody who's channeled into that's used their imagination, that's picked up on that. This has worked as it's moved forward. So, but it's about just having a balance, really. We are enjoying your question. This is important. Many of you have started that journey over many of the years of developing your sensory self and the extra sensory self and your intuition and psychic abilities. And many of you hear this are the natural mediums. And life shifts and life changes from what it may have been previously. And is that feeling possibly that then how does one fit in with your existence of your life that you once had? And especially there are those that family members or friends or life doesn't quite fit in with your experiences now, because your perception of your world may have changed. It's like the vision of what you are seeing is different from what you have seen before, and it's almost like that seasickness feeling on a boat of life has shifted in the direction of how you are feeling. And there's a terminology that's bandied about as we are aware of this spiritual awakening as such, and it literally is as if someone has shaken you, and life of what you have known of it before would have felt quite differently now. And then how do you adjust to what is now the reality of your world, and maybe not having an understanding or a clarity of the reality of how does one fit in with the world that you once fitted in, maybe poorly, badly fitted like a pair of shoes, in a sense of, because if you had felt totally fitted in with what was once your reality, you would not have shifted, of course. And we are aware of many of you that have shifted your perception of how you see your world now, and may question as in, but why? What good is this? What purpose is this? Of how I'm feeling, or where do I fit in? And humans like to fit in to some degree, or have those around them that will work with them on this, or family, friends who understand them. And there are sadly many that may not. It's like the chess piece on a chess set. It's like being positioned to some degree, or once playing the role of the queen or the king or the rook, and now changing the position halfway through the game. It's then your positioning where you could move 3 places to the right or to the left, and now you can only go forward or back. It's very similar. And that's why you can also have the physical changes within yourself, or physical ailments, or physical body movements, in the sense of the ears becoming extremely sensitive to sounds, and maybe headaches and arising because of now the third eye has become so open of what to see, and the throat is clearing, and the physical body, we are aware of the physical ailments, because now you are extending externally outside of yourself. You're no longer in your physical 3D body of the human being. You're extending fully out of yourself now. And this means the expansion of yourself is also connecting to the energy fields around you, or expanding. So you're connecting with others, other beings, others' energies, and you will feel also how they may be feeling too. This is why it can be very uncomfortable for individuals who are becoming more in tuned psychically, or becoming a medium, or working within the energy healing industry, as you may call this, because now you are picking up on so much more. But then this is the evidence to yourself and for yourself that you can see actually that you are not just the 3D imagery you see in the mirror. You are then extending yourself, and you may then end up feeling that other person's energy across the other side of the world. Many of you do this with loved ones. You may tune in and think of someone, and then they phone you or email you or reach out to connect with you. It's almost like the psychic telegraph or the telephone. Is very similar. Yes, it's not easy, and you've not been taught this years and years, thousands of years ago. This was something that was taught. Many of your schools do not teach this energy field, but this is something that we are insisting as you move forward on your planet. This should be taught from an early age. Information would have been passed through ancestors. The information would have been spoken about. It would be tuning into the energy of the earth and nature, knowing when there is going to be a storm, just like animals working with their intuition. But it seems to have been wiped out on your planet to some degree, and not learning how to work with it. Many of you who are now becoming very energetic, it's almost as if that if you reached out in front of you with your physical arms, you can then move energy around. It's malleable. Energy is malleable. Your minds feel that you cannot do this, and you stop yourself. It's like the energy. There is an example, for instance, whether we have a particular name may be not of importance, but those parents that say, for instance, a car is coming and their child is in the way, that maybe they stop it energetically, or cars where somebody is trapped and energetically somebody lifts the car because of the adrenaline in the physical body. You see as superheroes that many of you think it's not possible. Now you're entering into a world of where it is possible. seeing almost like the movies of the invisible man, not that we are gender specific here, but it is working with your energy and seeing things as you move forward, but only from your energetic self. Yes, life changes as you become more open to energy. We are aware, but we see this as a bonus in a sense. And it's also to help your own individual lives, to see how you can change your life. If it is not clear at the moment, as in your direction of why or how you can work with now that your sensory self, that you have shifted from how life used to be, then it is for you to wait until it unfolds and unravels. It is to find your balance in a sense of being aware of, yes, your studies and you are learning more and you're intrigued, childlike in the sense of enjoying and experimenting with the gifts. That's part of yourself. And another part of yourself is the role that you play in your life to those family members around you and to work. You see, with the human, there are many roles that you can play. It's not that you are fixed to think that you have to create a title above your head and to feel that you have to be a certain person living life in a certain way. It is for you to know that if you are now having these gifts and you are expanding, that it's time that this expansion is growing. And once you allow this naturally to match up with yourself and to trust it, not to feel like a dam, that you have to put a dam in place to create this river that stops and in a container. If you allow this river to flow through you, a river of energy flow, it will take you to where it needs to go to. Your mind is getting in your way of saying, where is it I'm going? What is it I'm doing? This is slowing down the problem. It's creating boulders in this river flow of energy. We are aware of the uncomfortability. We are aware of dreams that are shifting and changing. And we are also aware in dreams there are past lives that are coming up for individuals. But it is for you to work with it. It is to write in the journals about dreams, what is being shown to you. These are messages through timelines, past, present, and future selves of yourself. It is for you to work and to sit with it, to be patient with yourself, and to just to trust. It's very different from the 3D world that mankind has put you into in the structure. We do not work with structure, we work with energy. So for those who are feeling uncomfortable, get used to the uncomfortability, to surrender, because then it's easier for you to receive the information. It is to surrender, to let go of the restrictions of self. I don't know who I just had in there. That was weird. Sorry, I hope that helps. I have no idea. I was like, okay. But they felt yeah, very wise old soul. I don't know who that was.